I was born as a person with a penis, and I assumed I have to be a boy, right? If you feel different, you are not feeling good with yourself. It's connected, it's a process.
It's not about understanding, it's about respecting.
There are actions that travel very far.
And I was handsome before, and I'm beautiful right now. So people can be trans without starting taking hormones. She looked at me and she said, "You are one of us."
This is Create What Matters.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Create What Matters. My name is Ale. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. We have a very special guest, and we are bringing you a very special conversation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leti. My pronouns are she, her. We're excited to bring to you a conversation that touches on important themes around inclusion, leadership, and creating workspaces and spaces in general, where everyone can truly feel that they belong.
Today, we want to explore how our conversations about women's experiences and gender equality become richer and more complete when they include trans women's voices and perspectives. The journey towards gender equality isn't about just expanding opportunities for some women, but about understanding the diverse ways womanhood is experienced.
Trans women's insights can help us question assumptions about gender that might otherwise go unchallenged, revealing how gender shapes all of our lives in both shared and unique ways. As we discuss workplace inclusion and leadership today, we'll see how these perspectives can lead to more thoughtful practices that benefit everyone.
We are really happy to introduce Magda. She's a Forbes Women Talk25 influencer and a TEDx speaker with extensive experience creating inclusive workplaces for LGBTQIAP+ individuals. She works at the intersection of human resources and trans advocacy, helping them transform their policies and create a more inclusive workplaces for trans and gender diverse employees. Magda, we're very honored to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm also excited to share with your listeners and people who will be watching the insights. And it's important to talk about this topic nowadays and always to help people understand better how they might contribute to the better and safer society in general.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
And before we dive in, like you have such an amazing, such beautiful curriculum, all of these beautiful things that sometimes we may use as metric for success. But I think that here, what we want to question is what really resonates and what really matters to you this year and looking forward to 2025.
For me, I think like safety, it's the most important because I will be honest with you. I'm always honest. I have been living in Spain since 2 months, and I've been harassed 3 times, which is giving me a clear signal that we need to talk about intersectionality. And I truly feel like the pain of being woman right now, beautiful woman, which is approached on the street. And often, if I don't want to be approached, right? And always I want to be nice. I want to somehow, keep this conversation. This is my challenge in 2025 to find solution for this. So safety, safety, my safety, and then safety of everyone, because this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want to help other people.
They need to get their voices heard.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't have, they don't want or they don't feel safe to speak up, or they're, exhausted of the fight of always talking about their experiences.
Thank you, Magda, for sharing that. I would love to hear more about your journey and your story. What can you tell us? Where did it all begin?
So I feel my story, like often people are expecting that the story will be start when I was child. I always played with dolls. No, I haven't. I didn't have reflection about who I might be for a long time. I was born as a person with a penis, and I assumed I have to be a boy, right? and people referred to me in this way for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt attracted to men, so I thought I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out. I'm putting this in this word. I was born and I'm from Poland. The country, it's very Catholic, and also I'm coming for the most Catholic part of this country.
From a very traditional
Yeah,
background.
very traditional, like each Sunday going to to the church. And I saw like many signals, like even in my family between my parents, that I didn't see, to be honest, love between my parents, right? But like I saw that my parents been really thinking what people say, right? But I'm very grateful, like to say positive things, and I'm really grateful to my parents because we've been traveling a lot, and I seen people different like me, different skin color skin, and for me, like always people have been, equal for me. But I have a sister, and she's like 5 years older than me, and I remember my mother always was like super scared, like for example, we've been traveling to Morocco, Egypt, like always been scared like about her, which I understand right now. But also saw there a lot of fear, a lot of assumption, a lot of stereotypes about Arab men in this case, right? So I think it started my journey and passion about diversity, equity, inclusion. But coming back to the story, so majority of my life I thought about myself as a gay person, and I used to live in Warsaw, which is the capital of Poland, with my friend. She's makeup artist, and one day we came with idea she would do for me makeup, and she borrowed her bra and she did beautiful makeup for me, and I put that bra on my body, and we did some pictures, and we put on, like, let's call it dating apps. And I had so much attention from men.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I saw the pictures of men, I said, it's nice. I want more of this. And it started the time of my living that I'm saying it was cross dressing. For the people who don't know what that means, cross dressing, it's majority when the person is assigned at birth as a man but wearing woman clothes. And in my case, it was the reason it was to have sex with a man, right? And it was 8 years of my life, so a lot.
Yeah.
And everything what I was doing in Poland, it was in a fear. I had a lot of risky situations. This is another why I love to talk about it openly, because I put myself a lot of risky situations, like not using a condoms, be convinced I'm married, so don't worry about it. And I've been meeting a lot of people. Everything was like in my house. I felt it was a way that I started to explore about my femininity. And I decided to go to London, and of course I had a lot of questions. You had stable career, because I started to work in recruitment. I studied psychology. I always felt passion about people. And when I built the first community in Poland, like, because I always struggle with find people like me. I always felt struggle with belonging. I felt like I'm different and this time, right? And people gave me that impression. So if you feel different, you are not feeling good with yourself. It's connected, it's a process, right? So going for me to London, it was like super nice experience, because I felt freedom, and I went to sex parties. I have feeling I dedicated my life to sex parties, and it was important for my story to discover. And during one of the sex party, when I was looking for men, attention from men, the 50 years woman stayed in front of me. She looked at me and she said, "You are one of us." And I remember it was like super hard for me, very unexpected, like, and she was sure that I might be trans person. And the fact that yeah, wow, exactly, wow. And the fact that she accomplished her transition at 50s, it was totally new for me, because me as a person from Poland without any role model of being trans person, and I saw how proud she was.
How old were you
Yeah.
at that time?
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
for asking about
I was
timeline.
about to ask that. I was very
Yeah, it was in 2019. So I had 20-ish.
Okay.
You were in your 20s. Yes. Okay.
You know, it was a time of COVID. And I started to talk openly with my best friend. She's psychotherapist, Alexandra. And I'm super grateful because I knew in my life I had a period that I was putting myself, and those people also have been putting me there in those risky situations. And for a few years, she's been patient with me, like always explaining this is not good for you what you're doing, because I will be honest also here, I've been doing this with alcohol, with drugs, and I was very there is a line between, you know, doing this and enjoying and putting yourself always in those risky situations. So I'm very grateful to Alexandra also, because she's been so patient to explain me. Even I didn't see this. I thought like everything is okay, life is just fun. But step by step, I also started my psychotherapy process, and I've went through some groups who are supporting transgender people. But I also had for a long time that feeling it's not about me. I can do it myself. So for a long time, I haven't speak openly about it, right? Then I started my transition in 2021, and my transition was like physically, it was really fast because I accomplished in a year and a half,
Oh wow.
including my surgery,
Okay.
which is like often, yeah, people are, yeah, really.
How long does it usually take other people to transition like that?
It's hard to say. We don't still have like data about this. And it's also good to say like people don't have to transition, like, because often like saying like people are asking, okay, have you done the biggest surgery? Do you have vagina? And like there is a question that people can be trans without starting taking hormones. And I feel
Yeah.
like for many people it's still so hard to understand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can be before surgeries, and people don't want to go surgeries. People can be after surgeries.
So we need to cut these stereotypes,
Yes.
these ways of thinking about this.
Yes.
That doesn't have to be black and white. You know,
Yes.
there are many different colors and
Yes.
ways and preferences.
But you know, for the people who are, I would say, receivers,
Yeah.
and often there are men who are surprised I don't have something what they expect. So it really can come from from all angles, right? So I think we need to have conversation like this today. So I'm very grateful to normalize the topic,
Definitely.
to talk about it very openly, right?
Yes, for sure.
How did that receiving like you're one of us, you are a woman in a way, right to your face in that situation? Like how did that hit you? Like how did it make you feel?
Mm. I think firstly I've been shocked, but it's been something that resonates with me, and I've been, you know, asking people, like starting my psychotherapy to discover if that's true or if it's not true. I also can openly share that I haven't been sure that I'm trans, because people often are asking, so when did you realize that you're trans? Where you've been like, sure. I think many people can be blocked to start transition if people are starting on the beginning. You know, ask them like, so what would you be your name? Like, will you go through surgeries? Because people are starting those questions,
Yeah.
and I understand it's curiosity, but I remember me. I wasn't like this today, talking about it openly and knew everything and helping other, because I didn't know the journey. I was scared.
Yeah.
I felt I'm alone. I wasn't sure if I can accomplish this.
And I think that there's something that you share in your TED talk is that you feel all of these things and you go through all of these things on a day-to-day life that cis women don't necessarily go, because it's people looking at you all the time and questioning your own self-knowledge, as you were saying, or trying to put labels or trying to judge you, because your transition is actually very recent, if you think about it in a way. What is the mental resilience, and what are the strategies that have helped you navigate both professionally and personally that, and how do you build that mental resilience? Because it must be tough.
Yes, let's say it honest. Yes, it is. For me, like a person from Poland, when I started my transition, I've been working with my business mentor. It's like I will start from different edge, but she used to live. She's living in Berlin, in Germany. So I think she realized this, how is the cost for me, and she encouraged me somehow to move to Berlin. And before Barcelona, I used to live in Berlin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And also I started to travel because I feel like as a person who's doing diversity, equity, inclusion, I need to travel. I need to meet people from different
You need to see the
cultures.
world.
This is for me. And I want to have a partner who is not Polish man. So I'm with a mission to meet him. Actually, I'm going soon to Brazil. So this is a different topic to talk, not today. Yeah, so I feel like that international perspective helped me, but like coming back, it's been hard on the beginning. So firstly, I started, as I shared, like I have beautiful friend and she's psychotherapist, so she accepted me like who I was, like always. Before transition, after transition, of course she needs time, and this is also like important to, yeah, to give people, because like we're often talking about our our perspective, but I'm right now more mindful that the people who knew me as Amatic, because it was my name, and I'm okay to say this name. So yeah, I miss him sometimes. Yes. So I think like the full integration, it's still,
A process.
yeah, it's a process, exactly.
You're very brave.
Yeah.
Thank you for
you for
sharing this with
sharing.
us.
Of course. And I was handsome before, and I'm beautiful right now. So I love like when people are saying this, like
Yeah.
looking at the picture, you've been handsome.
I have a friend that went through a transition recently too. And I think that one of the things coming from the other side, as you said, that support and friends, knowing someone their whole life as a she and then having to call someone a he was a process for me to also rebuild in my brain. And I know that it can be very tough for the person. And it's not an excuse for sure, but we had a lot of arguments over it. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I feel like my framework is built in that way because I knew you like that. But for example, you have never known you not as Magda, and it's sorry.
But it's important what you touched. Like, it's like we need to be together in this process. And I feel like this is the biggest common mistake. Like, people are feeling alone. Like, trans person is feeling alone, for example, at the company, and or ally, the person who is giving support. I think it's good to say, like, have that conversation, even 10 minutes, like with a friend or with a manager, to say, like, for example, if you're ally, you can say, like, I'm trying my best, but it's how it works. The brain needs time to, and if I will misgender you, it's nothing against you. There's always a question if it's overreacting or if that's something like overreacting. It was the reaction that I was able to do at this time, right? Because I've been overreacting, I would say, to people who misgendered me. But like also I knew that I physically changed, and this is how society works. We have a man or we have a woman.
So we want to like to put people in boxes and
Yes.
categories, right? To make to be comfortable, but the world is very diverse, and there are many different voices that search for wanting to categorize, and I don't know that that process or that expectation is the healthiest. Magda, I love how you talk about micro actions of kindness to generate change. Could you explain what that is and why is it so important?
Yeah, I think like I believe as a human beings we need more kindness in general. This is like my approach. And also I can share here, like I did the first tattoo, which is purple love. People often like thinking, oh, it's henna or something like this. No, it's the real tattoo, purple heart. to remind about self-love and kindness to people. So I feel like it's important to appreciate other people. And I remember myself when I started the transition. So, those small things, like, for example, as you shared your pronouns as ally, it's important because you're giving a clear signal to the person that it's a safe space, right? Before my transition, my parents gave me a name Maciej, but I was going by Maciek. And when I started my transition, someone, I don't remember who, I had a conversation with one of my friends, and they said like, maybe you will be Ma. And I said, okay, I will be Ma. And I started to say I'm Ma, and my pronouns are she, her. And then, I experienced, even I had like my Adam's apple removal surgery. The doctor constantly misgendered me. And I remember it was so hard for me, and also it was hard for me to say to him like what I think about it. But I found courage, and I said like on a reception, it's not okay, like, I'm paying for this. And it's like the person do not respect me. And the worst is like I asked him like why he's doing this, and he said to me because he's tired. Like, and yeah,
Not an
just
excuse.
yeah, it's not an excuse. But I'm giving that example. Do not be like him. Respect people. Even for you, you're seeing someone and you're automatically saying that person is firstly say who you are, and then the person can open up in front of me, because often people are expecting like trans person should say first. She should say she's after surgery or not. But like the thing is like if you want to make connection with a human being, I believe it's like firstly a time. And if you're asking such immediate question on the beginning, it's impossible to build that. And this is the common mistake that people are doing. Straight away, out of the curiosity, they want to know about our surgeries and other things. Firstly, be, from the place of love, like firstly know person, start about yourself, about your pronouns. And then the person, if will feel safe and if they want to share in front of you, they could.
Absolutely, to have respect for other
Yes.
people's stories and
Yes.
what they feel comfortable with sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I work in data.
Yeah.
And so I've worked in a few projects that were related to diversity as well in companies. And I remember you talked about respect, and it reminded me that we were going through all of the different ways in which diversity is in a corporation, or is done in a way in a corporation. And then I remember that one of the C-level executives that we were discussing with, someone said something that he finally got what we were talking about, because I think that a lot of people want to understand why they want to understand what you did, and they want to understand what's your motivation behind it. And I think I usually say like there is no need for you to understand someone else's purpose or necessity to do anything. We all have our free will and our decision, and it's personal to you why you decided to do it and why you wanted to do it in the first place. But it is a responsibility of all of us to respect it. It's not about understanding, it's about respecting. And it's your privacy, and it's your like what does it matter to me why you did it in the first place, and I think that there's this space sometimes that people need to know why. And for me it's just like, who cares? What do you care, and why is it important to you? Why do you need to explain this to yourself?
But I also feel like in the corporate environment, it's good to talk about this why. I feel like we're missing those conversations, because then leaders who already have a lot of things to do, they are asked to do diversity. And I understand them why they don't want to do it, right? Because they're overwhelmed. And then someone is coming, and let's talk this March about trans inclusion. So, in Catalan, poc a poc. This is what I've learned here.
Little by little.
Little by little. Can you share some other examples of language habits or casual remarks even that people might think are supportive, but they're actually uncomfortable or offensive to trans women?
Yeah, I love like, hey guys, like this is
I do that, sorry.
this is what really triggering me as I want
Yeah.
to. I mean, like I had recently, I've been with another woman, and one guy said like, "Hey guys," and I look at him, and then said like, and I think I explained him like why not, because like we are both women, and like hi guys, it's very not inclusive, because if someone will be non-binary person or identify in different way, there are beautiful words in English like hello people, hello individuals. Individuals, it's my favorite. I'm always encouraging people to say hello individuals when we have more than two people. Hi folks, as I shared, like hi people. Yeah, and go by name. Also people can go by name, and they are forgetting about this.
Yeah.
For example, people loves my pronouns on LinkedIn queen, because I'm a queen. So yeah, some
That's
people
nice.
really appreciate this.
Yeah, that's nice. I like
Yes.
it.
Often also we talk about the importance of intersectionality in feminism. You started to touch on that topic.
Yeah.
And could you elaborate on what that means and why is it relevant to have a discussion on this topic today?
First of all, intersectionality is like, it's not connected just, for example, with white women, right? But like with women of color, with trans women. So, and we can have other more layers of our identities, right? Because intersectionality is about our experiences. So I like to see this topic from from the perspective like see what we have in common, rather than this is also my approach when I'm working with companies. For example, let's see, we are three living in Barcelona. We are three women. So we have those things at common, right? And then we can see, for example, you're from this country, I'm from this country. But to see this topic about what we have in common and how we can support each other, right? To support each other, to listen to each other. So for me, this is the most important, like listen about needs of other people who are, who have different stories than mine, and give a support to, because that support is such needed. As I started on the beginning, I really feel right now cost of being a woman, because it's a lot. It's
It
a
is very
lot.
high.
Yeah. And I wasn't aware, but yeah, I knew right now how to deal with this. Like, how is the process? How to go talk about it on my psychotherapy process? How to, I can even share one of this example, because maybe it might be helpful for other trans women, or like in women in general, to people. So the last time when I was harassed, it was like, I think the last weekend. It was in Calella, 60 kilometers from Barcelona. And I went there to have like phone detox. So I haven't been with my phone, and I was going to the club. And on the way, I've been like focused on me. And two times I felt like, someone is saying hola. And I felt like someone is talking by phone, like, I don't care. Hola, hola. And then I realized that the man is following me. And it's been like super dark, no light.
It was not. It was.
It was
during the
night. Yeah, I was going to the nightclub. Yes, para bailar.
night.
And then he started to be closer to me. And then I realized I don't have my phone with me, right? And in this case, I've been paralyzed.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I didn't look at him like, and probably he's seen that he started to say, "Oh, how are you? ¿Qué tal?" Um, and I was like, really, I will be also honest here with you. I have a lot of anger to people, and a lot of anger to men in general. So I'm happy that I didn't react in the way of fight, because I feel that person could, start to do something for me. And lucky me, the person left. But what was the cost for me? I felt weak. I didn't have mood to go for dancing. And when I came to my hotel, I just, went to go sleep. And another day, I woke up and still I felt like I'm weak. And I said to myself, no, Magda, you're not weak. I look at the mirror and I said, like, I'm going to this place to imagine that the scenario of this situation was different. Because what I realized after my transition, all those experiences, if you are not talking about them or if you don't feel them again, like in a nice way, if you're not embodied them, you will have that heaviness on you. At, and I have still that heaviness, but I said like, no, right now I knew how to manage this situation. It was morning. I went to this place. It was beautiful sun, and I stayed in the same place. And I imagined he's coming to me. And what we are doing in Spain, we're saying hola, and we are doing two besos. And I imagine he's coming. I'm doing to him like two besos, and I'm saying to him, thank you so much, but I'm not interested. Please leave me. And I really felt like, yeah,
Peace.
yes. And I felt like that heaviness, it's not anymore in my body. And it was beautiful. And this is also about small actions, like small things that we can do for us and other people can do for us. So it's working those two ways.
Yeah, they are actions that travel very far. And
Yes.
especially in these situations, as you say, that there are situations where it's so out of our control, and maybe
Yes.
sometimes they're so shocking and paralyzed, and we
Exactly.
don't know how to react,
Exactly.
which is a protection mechanism.
Yes.
Being in shock is a
Yes.
means to protect yourself. But it's beautiful
Yes.
how you shared and how you were able to soothe yourself and change your dialogue and your narrative. And I see you are
Brava,
also
Magda.
you're also
Yes.
you taught yourself a
Yes.
lot to validate.
Yes.
And I've seen that in a few of my friends and people to just connect back to your body and ground
Yes.
yourself and soothe yourself. So
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing that story. You are very brave, and for teaching us and being open to share that with us.
Yeah, sure. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And I wish you all the best from bottom of my heart with your project because it's so important and I seen you have so much amazing people in your podcast. So congrats on this. I know it's a lot of work, so brava.
Bravas. Thank you so much, Magda, for coming. It is a pleasure receiving you, and we hope to see you next time in another conversation. Creating what matters.
Creating what matters. Thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.